Obscure, low-budget Hollywood programmers, particularly from the 30s, can provide unexpected pleasures amidst the drudgery and failure. The product of a Monogram or Republic Studios is often more intriguing in a down-at-heels kind of way than equivalent routine offerings from the majors. So, with fingers crossed and a tolerant attitude, you can hope for some inspiration and improvisation to compensate for the gaps and cut corners. Then again, sometimes a dog is just a dog. Based on a story by Edgar Wallace, Mystery Liner, a thriller of sorts from Monogram, purports to be about the test implementation of S505, a small vacuum tube that, when connected to gauges and switches on a ship, allows for remote radio control. Purports, because the situation is so diffuse and explored so slackly that exactly what is going on or why anyone should care is never clear. The story starts with the liner's owner checking on the health of its commander, Captain Holling, Noah Berry, who has had some kind of mental breakdown. Holling is removed from his post and committed to a sanitarium, so the rest of the action leads to the climactic moment when control of the ship is given over to the S505, while off-site, a rotund villain addressed as Excellency, Raymond Brown, practically rubs his hands in anticipatory glee at the trouble he and his cronies have in store. The ocean liner sets are surprisingly convincing for a low-budget offering, which is more than can be said for the characters. All of the actors are, with one exception, downright terrible. The exception, Zeffie Tilbury as the horny Granny Plimpton who throws herself at every man in sight, is so obnoxious that incompetence would be welcome. It is unfair to blame the cast for the film's failings, however, because the dialogue is flat as a pancake, with continent-sized pauses between lines testifying to an inattentive director and editor. The resulting story bumps, jumps, and stands still to a point of numbing incoherence. We're told with such repeated insistence that control of the liner will be given over to the S505 at 9 o'clock that it is as if we are being asked to sync our watches. Meantime, with nothing else going on, the quote-unquote ghost of the broken Captain Holling causes a ruckus when he appears in Granny Plimpton's stateroom, only to be dropped as an issue until later. As for figuring out which characters are good or bad guys, it's difficult when they don't seem sure themselves. Without knowing Wallace's story, it is tough to say whether there ever was a movie in it. The ingredients do seem to have potential. Granny Plimpton's crotch-watching, for example, might be funny with some real writing, and Excellency suggests some entertaining Mephistophelian panache if he's ever let out of the room he shares with his henchmen. But, to judge from Mystery Liner, the possibilities were left on the dock.